Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Soulstorm cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 vs 1 on Deadly Fun Archaeology. Playing on the left-hand side as the Sisters of Battle, we have got Scouty. And playing on the right side as the Orks, we've got Mr. Christian. Mr. Christian will be opening off a couple of Slugger Boys, a Grot Squad, Generator and a Boys Hut. Where Scouty is going to go for a couple of Missionaries, a Adeptus Sororitas Convent, and a Plasma Generator. So some sherbet lemon coloured sisters. Is it sherbet lemon? Is it Chuppa Chup lollies? I can't quite remember. But it's definitely a very garish, very bright colour scheme for Scouty today. Also going to go into Battle Sisters and a Canoness. Do love the Sister versus Orc matchup, as it is one of the few matchups in which the Sisters don't go for double Seraphins. Don't get me wrong. Good opening. Lots of action early game, but it is a little bit different from what we normally see. However, for the Orcs, no matter what faction they go up against, it's either Shooter Boys first or Big Mac first from the Boys Hut. Simple. Simple's brains. That's what it is. And that's what I like from them. So, yeah, so I imagine maybe potentially going for some Inferno grenades on these ladies. I don't know really in the early game for these sisters. It kind of depends on the momentum and the tempo that the Orcs go for. Orcs can play defensive and offensive depending on how they fancy. On a map like this where your strategic points are far-flung on all the sides, also plenty of critical locations in the centre, and a contested strategic point to go for. Maybe the Orcs will put all their welly into this point and then try and get all that blue money so they can tech up as quickly as possible, as their war banners only cost blue. They have no need for green to tech up as quickly as they can, because obviously these sisters require their plasma jennies, as old Dreamon would say. Canoness is out, but no special things going on. We do have a cheeky little holy icon going for listening post. Always good idea to get it, just because it's not super expensive, and a little bit of faith goes a long way. Although funny that Scouty playing as the Sisters, known for their faith, is playing up against Mr. Christian. So the God Emperor versus God, who will win in the, I mean, I don't remember exactly in the Warhammer 40k lore, but I do remember seeing a wonderful video on the YouTubes about the Last Church, which some of you will have definitely seen, some of you haven't seen. Highly recommend watching it. Obviously, finish watching this video first. I need the viewer retention so I can purchase more plastic crack in my spare time. But yeah, that was an interesting little audio adventure going on there. And I don't know if that was referencing the actual, Christian church, or whether it's just some sort of church random in the... I mean, my memory isn't what it used to be, boys and girls. Anyway, Big Mech tries to do some stuff, but the Big Mech is a little bit of a wuss, to be honest. Doesn't exactly like fighting 1v1 at the best of times, especially when the Canoness is supported by Battle Sisters. A little bit of argy-bargy. You could have really done with seeing the Orcs maybe capitalise on the Sisters moving away. I mean, they have denied the relic somewhat, but then going to lose some of their Slugger Boys. That being said, Slugger Boys are kind of destined to die in the early game. These guys don't really scale up all that well until the very late game, where they're basically free. So they're all dead. Sisters feeling high and mighty about themselves. The Orcs are capturing the strategic point in the top centre. Missionary laying hands upon himself. Some might see that as a bit of a waste of faith, but there's no faith wasted. If he survives, he can join these ladies and then lay some hands upon them at a later stage, regenning the necessary faith to redo that. Isn't exactly too long and arduous in the early game. Controversial position of the Parlour guns here. If the Sisters do get a good push, they will lose their tech building. But I don't think the Sisters will be doing much pushing until maybe the late stages of the game. A couple of Penitent engines, maybe an Exorcist artillery tank. The Orcs do rely on their elite infantry as they get into the late game. The Knob plus Flashgate Wombo combo is always good, and I don't think the Orcs are going to go for a vehicular heavy unit composition, considering that the Sisters just have the best anti-vehicle game in town, really. They get the Celestians, and without their heavy weapons, they're a mighty fine squad in their own right in both ranged and close combat. And then as and when they need to upgrade them with AV whenever you fancy. So pretty good. Or more reckless. You know what? I say this every single time. You put your war banners on the front line. It will help you in the early game. Late game, it'll bite you in the backside. Hear me now, quote me later. I've not seen this game. This is a cold cast. I've no idea what's going to go on. So, yeah, here's my prediction, my Missile Land Shark prediction, which means it now won't happen. So, there we go. Stormboy. Ooh, Stormboys. Now, that is an interesting way to go forward. I did not think Mr. Christian would go for Stormboys. My assumptions would have been going into big shooters, but no, the Stormboys come over to tie up the Battle Sisters. It's got a cheeky stick bomb in there as well. The Orc grenades that aren't really anything to shout home about. Not like the Sisters as they throw their Inferno grenades. Forces those Stormboys back. Well, no, maybe they were thinking in case the Sisters go for some heavy bolters. Unlike the Space Marines, they can get free in their tier, well, tier 2s. They don't need to go for the extra upgrade as of yet, so maybe that's what the faithful Orcs were thinking of when they went for Stormboys. 2 squad Stormboys. As the Orcs, you don't really need to put all your eggs in one basket by upgrading, or reinforcing, should I say, 1 big squad of Stormboys. 2 squad Stormboys, smaller, you know, they cost the same amount of population, is how the Orcs work. Each Orc worth 1 population, whereas the Knobs cost 2. I don't think the big mech actually costs anything. There we go, laying of hands, keeping the ladies in good stead and good nick. Beautiful Inferno grenade being thrown there. Current economies 98 and 20 compared to 92 and 30. So even though the Orcs got that early game aggression and denied that relic for some time, it's not the case. And I feel obliged to do this because I do this every time Scouty is on the channel. Look at that banner! My goodness, what a glorious banner. Have a good banner? I mean, that's a good banner, but it's not a homemade one. Scouty's banner always makes me think of, you know, back in the day when you used to, you know, download MP3s off LimeWire and stuff, although none of us did that. None of us committed any crimes. But in case you did, now then you would play them on your Windows Media Player. All those cool skins and stuff. Anyway, the Stormboys charging on in with a lovely Inferno turret placement there. Also, a Pegasus minefield as well, just to keep those Stormboys at bay, although could really do with the moving the Sisters over towards those mines, but maybe they're trying to avoid some sort of friendly fire damage. Showboys have got their big shoots, although being engaged in close combat by the Battle Sisters. Battle Sisters don't mind moving around while shooting with those Inferno pistols on their veteran superiors as well. Another Inferno pistol, and that is a hell of a lot of Battle Sister squads on the go at the moment. Canoness, blinding light, everyone's got glitter in their peepers. Big mech repositions away from the front lines. And the Stormboys have done not much really. Yeah, not really. I mean, they haven't really opened up the space for the Showboys to do much, but that is because they've kind of all moved quite close to the Battle Sisters line. So fighting here is probably not the place to go for the Orcs. A narrow engagement down this way towards the listing post. Maybe around here we can make advantage of the heavy cover. Maybe. Sisters are now in tier 2. They've got the Manufactorum out and about. Orcs 1 war banner away from tier 2, but they're going to go in for another push. This might not be what the Doctor ordered, but the Doctor's going to get it nonetheless. Stormboys zoning out those Battle Sisters. Big Shooters focus firing down that listing post. That's really what they want to do. Take it out, get the economy down just a smidgen, and then fall back. The Stormboys have also got the Stormboy knob with the Power Claw, which should do a lot of damage to the buildings as well as Sisters. Yeah, wonderful zoning from those Stormboys actually. And once that's done, they're going to fly away. I see. Force one half of the Sister army down south. They've now got one half of the Sister army over here, so the whole Orcs can now collapse onto one side. Beautiful. How would one say? Splitting tactic? Is that a technical term? Splitting tactic? I'm going to call it that. And both plasma generators going down. A wonderful little pick-me-up for the Orcs here, although the Rhino transport is up for the Sisters. Can keep them safe from those Stormboys. Reposition out the way. And that is almost a full squad wipe on those Stormboys there. But not quite. Are they going to stay around? I don't think they should. You've managed to get loads of gubbins here. Go back home. Be family men. Well, as much as family men can. Actually, I was about to say, you might get the reference. You won't get the reference. That was a personal reference between me and friends when we used to play League of Legends many moons ago. It was when you were pushing way too far down mid lane, and you would say to each other, go home, be a family man. I think that was a reference from Street Fighter, actually. I think that's where we originally got that reference from. Maybe, baby. Either way, the tank busters are out. Tier 2 for the Orks. The sisters are now also going to get their heavy bolters. Beautiful little maneuver by piling in to the Rhino transport there, but the big mech does the big zap. Here come the tank busters to crack open the armour there, laying hands on the sisters. Won't be able to use the heavy bolters when those Storm Boys are doing their ting. But yeah, that is way too many heavy bolters for the Orks to really deal with there. So we'll fall back. But no Celestians, so maybe actually this is a rare scenario where the Orks could probably flex out some vehicles themselves. Orks going to go for infiltration. Here's some knobs coming out as well. Pardon the phrasing. Well, the difficulty of the knobs here, right? So knobs teleport in. Sisters transport away from the Rhino. Shoot them down with heavy bolters. So unless the Orks get a really well-placed zap and the tank busters get some shots in and kill that Rhino transport, but then that assumes the sisters are only going to ride with one Rhino transport, which they are at the moment. Ecclesiarchal Servitor attempting to repair that Rhino transport, but the Rhino's not waiting for him. Bless him, the lobotomized servant of the Ecclesiarchy is doing his best, but you know, I mean, does lobotomy make you run slower? I don't know. Shutter Island never really covered that. Big Mech teleports in the knobs. Going for a bit of range play before then slapping some cheeks. And the tank busters nowhere to... Oh, they're over here, dear oh dear. The air move was not necessarily pressed for everyone. They have came to defend half and home there. See what I mean there? Double war banners. Almost being crumped. Or potentially being crumped. Yeah, and those heavy bolts, man, the range for them is what works. Even big shooters can't keep on that range. But they will struggle to break down the war banners without some Celestians. Here come the knobs, but once again the Rhino transport keeps them safe. Tank busters, come on down! Be part of the crew, man, be part of the crew. If that Rhino transport goes down, these sisters in here will absolutely be much less efficient in combat. They're going to come over, support the sisters, focusing down the Storm Boys. They will bees out the way there. There we go, tank busters somewhere. Big zap, and now the tank busters can just rain a hail of missiles down when they hit, which they do hit. That's all the tanks gone. And the sisters are now in a bit of a bind here. It's a long way to Tipperary and an even longer way back to the HQ. Do now have one fabulous squad of Celestians. One problem is though, is that Celestians are limited in number. Maximum of 5 if you include the Veteran Superior. So might struggle against a mass of Orks, which the mass is coming. The mass is here. And out and about. Knobs still around as well. Here's a Confessor that actually, to be fair, for a Confessor in the mix, he's got an AoE buff for everyone around him. Increases their damage by 25%? 50%? Something percent. It's a good number. The sisters like him. He may be a man, but he's allowed, you know, he's allowed at the sleepovers. If you know, if you catch me drift, if you know what I mean. They'll tell him his sweet secrets. They'll tell him, you know, if they have a crush on the guy from the rugby club or the football club, wherever across the pond you are, whether on the west side or the east side. Do Americans play rugby? Here's a genuine question. Do you play rugby over yonder? Or is that, or in the Venn diagram of sports, is that too close to American football? So you think, nah, there's no point. We like our helmets, we like our padding. Don't get me wrong, I think American football is a wonderful sport to drink to because they play for 30 seconds and they spend half an hour blooming setting up the next play. It's great. Honestly, best drinking sport ever because bugger all happens. Kind of like cricket. Although maybe there's some disagreements in the comments. Well, that's fair. I've never watched a full game of American football or cricket. God, you can tell I've been drinking a little bit before this cast. It's been a while since I've done a drunk cast. Not drunk. Not drunk. Just a little bit tipsy. Wait, sisters, you know, they've not done much damage to the Orks, but they've also managed to keep their half of the match, or the map, relatively okay. They've lost a couple of points here and there. Should really do with rebuilding stuff there. Current economies, 122 and 20. Compared to 68 and 20. Good lord. Sisters. Oh, the gender pay gap is real. It's here. It's happening. And the Orks are making sure it's the boys versus the girls, and the missionary goes down, so technically the boys go down as well. Everyone goes down when the greenskins are out in town. Just need to get more on top of rebuilding stuff, really. Confessor is in the Rhino there, and that is a powerful unit combination in there. Watch the Orks melt. Even in that heavy cover, they were struggling to stay alive. Mind you, that being said, Storm Boys are more fragile than your average Ork, considering they've got a rocket on their back. Alright, Rhino. This is where all the hopes and dreams live. This is the passion wagon, the dream factory. There's the war trucks. Vehicle speed boost. The Orks need a little bit of oomph to keep up the speed. Sisters have now also finally got rid of that strategic point from the Orks there. Dub squad teleport around. Big zap. Where are the rocket boys? Rocket boys are somewhere. Oh, Confessor. Oh, very nice. Almost got a smite on the Orks there, but he jumped inside the war truck. Very good plays going on there. Beautiful, beautiful micro from Mr. Christian. And the Rhino is struggling, but they have also got a squad of Battle Sisters with a grand total of 5 heavy bolters, laying hands of their own down upon the greenskins. You cannot ignore that level of fire coming in. And the Celestians getting the multi-melters on the flanks of that war truck. Yeah, that is not a happy place for any kind of greenskin to be standing. And the Orks might have to start thinking about getting some flash kits out. Do you have tier 3 on the way at the moment? You do not. That's a problem. They're investing in war trucks. I don't think war trucks are exactly going to be winning you any prizes at the fashion parade. But they've got some more. Knobs falling down. Has the big mech died? Big mech has died. That's very unfortunate. That is a mighty loss. I mean, the Rhino transport for the sisters have also gone down, but I'm not sure about the war truck. I understand the war truck to keep on top of the sisters when they're manoeuvring around with their Rhino transport, but more than one, I don't think so. You're not exactly going to be bolstering your ranks too much with the Celestians on the field at the moment. Knobs are not giving up. Got a second squad as well. Big shows aren't exactly keeping on top of these things, although while that's going on, the tank busters are down here doing their own thing, so the Orks might not be winning necessarily pound for pound this engagement here. They are keeping the sisters occupied while the tank busters are rocking around the clock.
4 minutes until they can hold victory.
That Confessor just increasing the damage by so much, helping people melt through the war truck. The Grots are dead as well. Might have been infiltrated. Oh, beautiful stuff. Getting a good chunk of them down. Also knocks that war truck out of position. And actually the Shield Boys could not even run towards the war truck before they all died, so cannot underestimate the amount of damage, although the Battle Sister squad here almost getting wiped out. Orks is going to go for the cap on that. I would not agree on that. Maybe leave it uncapped and start damaging the listening post over here, maybe, instead. Let's commit to it. It's committing to it. I suppose it delays them recapturing the relic by a smidgen, but not by much. Not by much at all. Fresh Big Mech is out. I think it's teleported in, which means he's going to have a difficulty getting out. Jump inside the war truck and attempt to run away. Grots were temporarily pathing the war trucks, but thankfully the sisters got rid of them. Very kind of them. No, war trucks, no. Too expensive for what they are at the moment. 150 and 135. Quite expensive, all things considered. Orks, you don't need it. Get into tier 3, get the flash kits out. Maybe some war tracks, maybe. Bomb chucker. bit of artillery, you'd probably benefit more from some fighter bombers. Just because the actual knockback and the spread... Say, for example, got a whole bunch of sisters around here. I mean, Rhino Transport will cancel that out, but if you've got like a bunch of sisters spread out across this wide area, not all of them will be firing at your Orcs simultaneously. That's the idea behind that. But if you've got a Rhino Transport near some of them, only one sister needs to go in and then the whole squad gets sucked into it. So maybe that's why he's not gone for it. Maybe, or, you know, I mean, do people think at this level when they're playing? I suppose good players do, and to be fair, these players are remarkable players. So they are probably able to think and conceptualize their build orders and their unit compositions to that level. Whereas when I'm playing, bloody hell, just all thoughts go out my brain. Casting, I know exactly what's going... Well, I have a rough idea of what's going on. But generally, I've got a good idea about how to play, what to do, what to focus on next. When you're playing in a completely different scenario. For those of you who watch me play a game, whether it's against people, or, you know, against PvE, even then I struggle. It's been a while since I've actually casted one of my own games. It's been a while since I've actually played a bloody game, to be honest. With work kicking my backside now that I am somewhat important at work after the promotion, which well done me. Pat on the head. But it has meant a lack of sleep. Which I suppose... How is that different from anything? Oh, wait, more war trucks. Go on, get involved. Charge straight in. Well, I should do it. It's not advised. But it would be fun there. The knobs are out again. And there's only one squad this time. What happens to the other one? I assume squad wipe. Only fit one knob inside a war truck there. The sisters making sure that they are keeping away from them. Trying to focus on one thing at a time. Gonna go for that big smite. Oh, I love the positioning of that smite as well. Round where the knobs would have gone to get back into the war truck. But they're made of certain stuff, you know. Quite chunky boys. One smite won't kill them. But, I mean, the following gunfire probably will as well. Big Shooter's focusing on the listing post, by looks of things, they're deciding to turn their attention to where the knobs are dead. And, right, all that firepower. Without that knob front line, you are in a bad way, but being able to zip and zap away as fast as they can, not bad. Economy's been now 109.47. And good. How are you doing this, Scouty? You're on a skeleton's crew of economy. You've got no points. Yet you're doing it. You're playing the feud. You know, just really frugal spending, I imagine.
Victory countdown.
And not exactly much in the way of a fighting force, neither. Just using that Confessor to the absolute maximum of his abilities. And I imagine as well it is that heavy lean into those heavy bolters as well. Showboy squad wipe about to happen. Oh, go on. Let him live. Let him live. Oh, it's like that scene in... What's it called? Private Peaceful. That Showboy singing Oranges and Lemons is the last thing he does before the sisters shoot him to pieces. Oh, Orks, man, get into tier 3. That's what you need. The sisters have got you... Well, I mean, if they can hold off and cause you all these issues on this level of economy, imagine if they actually decided to rebuild stuff, which they're doing now. They're doing now, you're in a bit of a bind. An immolator as well. The Orks currently don't have any rocket people, neither, at the moment. Oh, no, do you? Oh, no, infiltrated grots. For a second I thought you were infiltrated rocket people. Oh, well. Yeah. Red herring, these war trucks. That's what I'm thinking. But, look. Doesn't it show that the moment I say something will happen, it then doesn't happen? Sod's law, that's what we call it in England. Sod's law meaning that when you expect something to happen, or when you want something to happen, or when it's likely to happen, and you say it's going to happen, it doesn't happen. Which I'm sure around the world you've probably got your own version of that. If you could let me know in the comments, I will read. Might not respond, probably won't respond, but I will read them. And chuckle. Or at least breathe slightly heavier out of my nose than normal when I read them. Oh, there's fire. There's Inferno grenades. That's double Inferno grenades. God, the morale goes from 900 to 0 very quickly, and then the smite comes in. Ah, just... I mean, they've absorbed all the damage though, so maybe it gives the shooter boys a bit of space. One sister being thrown around the side. And Big Mech teleports back home. All the shooter boys dead. The war banner also goes down, and just look, you can tell where all the fighting's been happening. With all the dead and stuff. Shooter boys got no way of getting out of this safely, as the Rhino could just keep on top of them. Oh, hold on. Is this a case of reverse Sod's Law, where now that I've invoked Sod's Law and it knows that I've said it's not going to happen anymore, that now it will happen? Oh, fickle fate! My goodness! Just when you say it's not going to happen. Ah, you bastard. Can't have anything, can you? Can't have anything, but there we go. War banners go down. You know that earlier head pat that I gave myself? I'm revoking it. Reverse head pat. It's all gone. It's all gone to shit. Much like the Orks at the moment. They've now lost... Yeah, they've lost basically half the population cap here. And sad pandas all around for the greenskins. The knobs are dead again. Sure, they've got a superior economy, but their fiscal approach to their army is something left to be desired, really. I think a more concerted effort at focusing on key points of the Sisters' army formation. I loved the idea earlier where they separated the Sisters' fighting forces into two bits and then focused onto one of the Storm Boys. That was a nice idea. One war truck would have been forgivable, but I think too many of them... Well, I've already said that, I don't need to hark on that point, but... I mean, the Orks had map control. Sisters playing super defensive. Maybe the Orks could have maximised their economic advantage and just made use out of getting like a tech advantage or something. But we'll never know, we'll never know. There's dead Orks everywhere, there's dead Sisters in some places, and that was the game. So, thank you very much for watching at home, and if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you one game a week, and there is also a Discord where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. My name's Mr. Landshark, pleasure's always never short, and I will see you in a bit. Peace.